unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is indeed the first time that you're on my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So as you guys know, I am one of those tarot readers who is very active in their comment section, and I have been seeing that you guys want more readings based on your zodiac signs. And you guys know how it works on this channel by now. You request and I deliver. So that is why today's reading on your life 5 years from now is based on your zodiac sign. So if this is the first time that you are watching one of my videos, know that you can find the timestamps in the description box as well as pinned to the comment section. So you can click your zodiac sign in order to fast forward to the part of the reading that is relevant for you. Very simple. You click, it fast forwards, you listen, and you enjoy your personal reading, because that is what my channel is here for. I want each and every one of you, no matter from what kind of walk of life that you are, to be able to enjoy these readings and to just connect with somebody who is kind of like, you know, a big sis, someone looking out for you and giving you advice and motivation. So yeah, guys, enough babbling in the intro. I want to get straight into the reading. So I'm going to be starting off with the Aries, but to all the other groups, as I said, the timestamps are linked down below. So feel free to fast forward to your zodiac sign and I will catch you during your reading. Hello, all my beautiful Aries, and welcome to your reading about your life 5 years from now. So I'm going to be doing your reading completely intuitively, so just lean back and enjoy the reading unfolding before your eyes. So you're very energetic, okay? You're very quick-witted, but you can also be kind of like impulsive and impatient. So let's see what is going on in your life 5 years from now. We have the Ace of Feathers, we have Strength, as well as the 10 of Crystals. So all my dear Aries, I want you to know here in the 10 of Crystals that 5 years from now, there will be a lot more stability in your life when it comes to the earthly realms, okay? So financially, also when it comes to how you manage your time, I see that there are large improvements, that you're going to be at a point in your life where you feel secure, where you feel like, yes, I have everything that I need to feel comfortable. And in the Ace of Feathers, one thing that I see here is that 5 years from now, you will be at a point where mental clarity is something that is kind of like the foundation of how you live your life. So it may be that you take up a lot more meditation, that you're able to really control your mind, which means that you're able to control your life a whole lot more. Because in Strength, one thing that I see is that, you know, mental strength in correlation to the Ace of Feathers card. I see that you will be able to just mentally really control where your mind goes, which means that your mind will drift off a lot less frequently to negative places and just stay in a good headspace where you're motivated, where you're able to make more rational and more thought through decisions. Because one thing that I see within your reading is the fact that 5 years from now, that sort of typical Aries impulsiveness, if you will, is going to have calmed down a lot. You're going to be at a point in time where, okay, we got a sign. You're going to be at a point in time where you're a lot calmer and where you're able to really think things through before you make those long-lasting decisions. Then we have the Sun as well as the Fire Guardian. So all of my dear Aries, in the Sun, I want you to know that you will be able to enjoy a lot of happiness, a lot of bliss and success. So I definitely see in the earthly realms a lot of success that you may have not expected. So maybe you wanted to reach a certain level at your work, or maybe a certain amount of income, you know, financial stability. And one thing that I see here is that you will be able to enjoy the fruit of your labor. You're going to have a time where those things are not a worry anymore, or not so much of a concern, and you can now focus on the things that you're passionate about. That is one thing that I see in the Fire Guardian, okay? Your passions are now important. 5 years from now, you're gonna be like, what really lights me up? Okay, now I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, say financially, or just when it comes to my health, my fitness goals. So now let me focus on what makes me light up, okay? What I'm passionate about and what really gives me this feeling of a deeper sense of accomplishment. So I see you looking for something that has more of a profound effect on how you feel about life. Then we have the Knight of Shells, okay? So all of my Aries, I want you to know here that there may be somebody somebody who enters your life who is of a water sign, okay? And this person balances you out nicely, but there may also be friction, you know, fire and water, it's not always an easy situation, but I see that this person is charming. This person is somebody who has a lot of passions, and that is most likely why you feel so inspired. That is most likely why we have the fire guardian, because this person is sort of teaching you the way of living a life where you take action according to what ignites you, according to what makes you feel like, wow, I'm really doing something with my life that has more of an impact than just money or looks or anything that is superficial. So the person that you're going to be in close contact with 5 years from now is the person that has a lot of that driving force, that driving energy that makes you know, like, yes, I'm on the right path when I'm following what makes me happy. Then we have Hope, we have Joan of Arc, the Holy Amethyst, and Mary Magdalene. So all of my dear Aries, in Hope, I want you to know here that love is yours, okay? 5 years from now, I see that love and acceptance are things that go hand in hand. I feel as though maybe right now, love and acceptance are two different things. You may love somebody, but you may not accept every little flaw because some things just irk you. Or you may feel like, yeah, I love myself, but at the same time, do you really accept everything about yourself, the good, the bad, the things that you're proud of, and the things where you feel like, I'd rather just sweep that under the rug. But I see that 5 years from now, you will be the person who is just focusing more on purpose instead of maybe on looks. So maybe right now, you're very much into, you know, things that are physically attractive, things that seem glitzy and glammy. And as I said, you're going to have accomplished that, but then you will move on to wanting to connect with yourself and the earth more on a deeper level, more on a level where those things don't matter so much. So that does not discredit those accomplishments at all, okay? I just want you to know that you will want to sort of put different priorities into the spotlight in your life 5 years from now. And the Holy Amethyst, one thing that I see here is that focusing on what you desire is going to teach you to move beyond, you know, obstacles that seem like they're really big in the moment, but they're not really when it comes to the big picture. So you may right now be a little neurotic, okay? You may blow things a little bit out of proportion sometimes. And one thing that I see here is that, you know, it is important for you to share these struggles. And I see that 5 years from now, you will be the person who shares how you grew, how you were able to overcome those like internal and emotional battles. And I definitely see here that you're not going to allow those things to stop you. So maybe right now you're dealing with something mentally, maybe it is even a mental illness that is holding you back, okay? And you're not going to let that stop you. Maybe right now you feel like afraid that it may overwhelm you or defeat you or stop you from achieving greatness, but it won't, okay? And if that is the clarity and just sort of like the peace of mind that you needed, all my dear Aries, I want you to take that out of this reading. If there's one thing that you take from this reading, take that knowingness of the fact that nothing is going to stop you, okay? No mental ailment, no stressor that is happening just in your head that has not transpired into reality is going to have the power to drag you down. You are more powerful than you ever imagined, and you will really notice in these next 5 years how you can push yourself to a whole nother playing field than you had ever imagined that you would be on. Then we have the Hunter as well as the Warrior. Okay, so all of my Aries, this just ties in wonderfully with what we just spoke about. So in the Warrior, one thing that I see is your fearless and bold side coming out, but you're not using it for silly things, okay? You're using it to track down your fears, to hunt them down, and to just finish them, okay? You're going to off them, you're going to end them. You are going to make sure that nothing is standing in your way that is not like a real threat, okay? You're focusing on your goals, your aspirations. You have achieved a lot of things in the earthly realms 5 years from now that would make other people really proud and make other people be like, okay, well, I've done it, I'm gonna retire and just chill now. But no, you're looking for more. You're looking for the meaning of life, a deeper purpose. You're looking for more things that you're passionate about because you've moved on from one project to the next. You're very energetic, and that is not going to change, okay? The only thing that is going to change is that your energy is going to go less towards the little things that don't matter so much. And you're going to be looking more at the big picture and not micromanage situations that don't need micromanaging. And just for the record, micromanaging is mostly not necessary, but it is something that a lot of us still do and engage with. But try to already start looking at the bigger picture. Maybe you can progress even quicker that way. And just allow yourself to already enjoy successes. Every little success along the way, you should celebrate. Don't feel as though you need to wait for huge accomplishments. So all my dear Aries, I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading. I hope that you found it insightful and that it gave you peace of mind. Let me know down in the comment section what really hit home and what really made you feel at home. And I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello to all my beautiful, warm-hearted Tauruses. I want to get straight into your reading about your life 5 years from now. So I will be doing this completely intuitively. I have not prepared a thing, so lean back and enjoy. So first and foremost, we have Taurus as well as Master Jesus. So just a little disclaimer, my videos are all inclusive. It does not matter whether you're religious, spiritual, maybe you're even an atheist and you're just checking out my video. That is completely fine. Just because this card is called Master Jesus does not mean that it has anything to do with that. Master Jesus in this card, in connection to this message, is all about forgiveness. So one thing that I see is that 5 years from now on your life path, you will be able to just completely forgive anybody who has done you wrong. So if you're still salty about something, if you're still kind of annoyed about what has transpired between you and a certain person or a certain situation, I see that you will be able to completely let that go, because sometimes resentment, holding in things that are heavy on our hearts, can really affect our life as a whole negatively. But in Horus, one thing that I see here is that you will notice that 5 years from now, how just like magnetic and powerful that your thoughts are, and you will use this sort of like magnetic energy that your thoughts have in order to attract the things that you truly desire. So the law of attraction is going to be a big thing for you, dear little Tauruses, okay? You're going to know that you can just make miraculous changes occur as soon as things change, like in your mind, okay? As soon as you forgive yourself for mistakes, you forgive others for doing you wrong, and you kind of like see it more from a viewpoint of knowing that if somebody did you wrong, that says a lot more about what they're dealing with rather than anything about you. And just forgiving them and moving on with your life really is what you should be doing for yourself, okay? So I definitely see that letting go is going to be a lot easier for you. Then we have the White Eagle as well as Faith. So one thing that I see here in Faith is the fact that like you're going to be doing so many things for other people, okay? 5 years from now, you're going to just be this person who other people aspire to be. I see that you're like a shining light who is probably going to engage a lot more in humanitarian causes however you can. So if you're very busy with your career and you're unable, for instance, to be there physically, you're going to be that person who still carves out time on the weekends, who carves out, you know, money if you're financially successful and is able to put that towards helping other people in need. Furthermore, one thing that I see here is that you see more light in the world. So right now you may think to yourself, this world is crazy as F and like there is nothing that can save humanity at this point. But I want you to know that 5 years from now, you will have had people who have crossed paths with you, who made you truly believe in humanity again, and who made you truly connect with who you are as well as your lineage. Because somewhere along the lines, you may have forgotten your true roots or just how hard that your ancestors and the people who came before you have fought in order to enable you to have this fortunate life that is full of so much purpose and opportunity, okay? And when you come to realize just how hard these people have fought, how much, you know, trauma, even deaths, etc., that have transpired in the past just in order for you to be able to live a better life, you will feel so much more grateful, and you will just think so much harder about each and every move that you make, just because you want to honor your lineage. You want to honor where you came from and give back to society and humanity however you can. And you're going to be so much less judgmental 5 years from now, as you start to understand that everybody is on their own path and journey. Some people are a little further along, some people are at a point that you maybe don't understand, but you're not judging. You're just trying to be supportive as well as understand. I feel like the more that you grow, okay, the more that you see, the less that you feel that you know, okay? You know how when you're younger, you feel like you know everything, but the older you get, you're like, wow, I actually have so many things that I have no idea about. That is sort of like the epiphanies and realization and the grounding energy that I see coming from you. Then we have the Queen of Crystals as well as the Knight of Crystals. Okay, so 2 cards corresponding to crystals, which is, earth sign energy. So this is really deeply connected with you, all my Tauruses. I want you to know in the Queen of Crystals that there is comfort coming for you and prosperity. So if you're right now worried about your finances, know that this is something that will really settle down 5 years from now. And then the Knight of Crystals, I want you to know that you will be able to accomplish that through endurance as well as determination. There's no other way for you to get to that state where you feel like things in the earthly realms are settled, aside from, working hard and making sure that you are able to just conquer those goals, okay? Don't feel as though you want to procrastinate, because Tauruses can be very diligent and hardworking, but sometimes they can also be a little laid back and procrastinate a little bit before they do a task. So know that there's no point in procrastinating. At the end of the day, you need to do it anyways, so you might as well just cross it off and get it out of your headspace. Then we have the Fire Guardian, we have Winter, as well as the Sun. So all my Tauruses, I want you to know here that 5 years from now, a lot of things are going to change when it comes to how you take care of yourself. So I feel like your self-care routine now is one way, but 5 years from now, it's going to be a lot more detailed, a lot more intricate, and I see that it will allow you to just be healthier, okay? I see great improvements in your health 5 years from now. Right now, you may not be taking the best care of yourself, or you may be a little bit misinformed in certain areas when it comes to health. Also, of course, there are going to be so many more advancements when it comes to diet, nutrition, so many more findings, and I see that that is something that you're really looking into, where you're really almost engaging in biohacking, okay? You're trying to just get the most out of your body, and you're challenging it more than ever before. Then we have the Shaman as well as the Ace of Shells. Okay, so all my Tauruses, I want you to know in the Shaman here that your spiritual power is going to be stronger than ever 5 years from now. I see as though your knowledge is so valuable that a lot of people come to you for help. And this may have to do with your occupation, okay? You may be engaged in something where you're helping people actively, so maybe you're teaching of some sort, or maybe you even are going to be engaged on social media, just like I am, and just putting out content as well as value that other people can benefit from, because faith in correlation to the Shaman just shows that there is really goodwill there in order to make a change in this world. Furthermore, in the Ace of Shells, I see just like this simple happiness, okay? This is nothing intricate. This has nothing to do with what you have been able to acquire or with love. Just simple happiness in yourself, okay? Abundance, good fortune. I mean, what more could you want, okay? So all my Tauruses, I don't want you to worry too much about the details. I don't want you to feel as though you have to cling on to anything right now. The most important thing for you to do is just to really monitor where your thoughts go, because where your thoughts go is where your energy flows, and that is what you will attract into your life. So already start to master that now. Furthermore, just know that happiness is yours. For you, it's kind of like the simpler your life is, the better. And that does not mean that you cannot be financially successful or you cannot be super healthy. That just means that you don't need a million different little facets. You just need the few things that you have in your life to be good quality, to be set up in a way that it works, and that is all that you need. That is the max of your happiness. So declutter, get rid of anything that is just like kind of not that useful in your life, and just allow yourself to engage on this path of more self-discovery as well as more spiritual growth. So all my Tauruses, I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading. I hope that you found it insightful and it gave you clarity. Let me know down below what really hit home, and of course, if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello to all my beautiful Geminis, and welcome to your reading. So your reading is going to be conducted completely intuitively. I have not prepared a thing, as you can see, so let's get right into it. First and foremost, we have Isis, we have Sanat Kumara, as well as El Moria. So one thing that I see here for you is that 5 years from now, you will have sort of like your dreams, your visions, your goals becoming a reality, okay? That is one thing that I see in Isis. I see magic manifesting, but I see that in the meantime, you have to stay focused and motivated. It's going to take a lot out of you to get to that point where your biggest dreams and aspirations are actually becoming true, but it is going to allow you to shine your light so much more. And up until that point, you will just have to motivate yourself. You will just have to use every ounce of will in your body to just push you forward, okay? And furthermore, one thing that I see in El Moria is the fact that the universe is with you, okay? I don't want you to feel as though you're unlucky. I don't want you to feel as though you can have a bad streak of luck, because when you think to yourself that you're not very lucky, or you're somebody who always has to work harder, then guess what? You are gonna have to work harder and you're not going to be as lucky. But if you tell yourself, I'm the luckiest person in this world, I work efficiently and everything just flows, then guess what? That is the kind of reality that you are creating, because your thoughts really do create your reality and your personality. So furthermore, I want you to know here that you can wear a cloak of protection and love by just really monitoring what you are thinking, how you're thinking, and how you speak to yourself. And Sanat Kumara, I want you to know here that your internal guidance is going to come out more and more and more within, between now and these next 5 years. I see that 5 years from now, you're going to know exactly when a situation is off, and you're going to trust your intuition. You're not going to question it. You're going to be like, okay, this is not the situation for me. Let me just move on and actually just do something else with my life, okay? So when something doesn't work, for instance, in business, maybe in your studies, maybe with a relationship, you're not going to ask yourself, why is it me, how come did this happen? Like, you're just going to think to yourself, okay, it just wasn't meant to be, and you're not going to try and make it happen. You're not going to try and push for it. You're just going to move on and know that your energy is better invested in things that are more compatible with you. Then we have the Wise One, as well as the Shaolin Master. So all of my Geminis, I want you to know in the Wise One that you're going to slowly morph into that person that people come to for advice, okay? So do you know that auntie, that sister, that person that you just go to when you want advice, when you want somebody's viewpoint, someone that you really trust, someone that will tell you the truth, but in a way that it doesn't completely shatter your confidence. So you are that person, okay? And it could be that there's somebody who comes into your life, maybe a child, maybe just somebody who needs that advice, and now it is your turn. Now it is your turn to teach, to give, and to just be that person who shows how to be graceful and how to put movement, action into a way how you can get the outcome that you desire. Because movement and action without really a direction, without really a purpose, is really just wasted energy. And you're that person that can really teach this other person, these other people, how to be more efficient in life. And you may think to yourself, oh my God, that is not me. My life is completely not together. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. 5 years is a long time, okay? 5 years is a long time to get your life to a situation where you're like, wow, I'm actually like doing this. I'm actually a boss, you know? So anyways, let's move further into reading. We have Commander Ashtar as well as Mercury and the Divine Director. So in Commander Ashtar, one thing that I see here is that 5 years from now, you're going to be a big leader. So maybe you're going to have your own business. Maybe you will have stepped up a lot when it comes to, you know, your occupation, your career. And one thing that I see is that people are going to be listening to you when you give orders, okay? I see that you're going to lead by example. So right now, maybe you're not quite cohesively like walking your talk, you're more just talking your talk, but I see that 5 years from now, you know, you're going to be the leader figure that resembles exactly everything that you stand for. In Mercury, one thing that I see here is that speaking up with love and just knowing exactly what words to use in order to not hurt other people's feelings, I see that that comes more naturally. Maybe right now you struggle with that. Maybe right now you're somebody who's very direct, okay? Somebody who can easily upset other people without even noticing, but 5 years from now, you will be a lot more tactful when it comes to that. In the Divine Director, I want you to know here that a divine intervention is going to be occurring 5 years from now. I see here that you will feel guided, you will feel drawn towards something, you will feel as though a new sort of chapter of your life's purpose is opening up, and you will naturally know what to do. So this may sound really intricate. I want you to know that this may be something opening up where you all of a sudden see this gateway, where you all of a sudden see like, my next step is to mentor, is to teach, is to help animals, is to try and make a change on this planet, maybe to help people in need, maybe also to just be the best version of myself for my own family. So I definitely see like a new sense of purpose awakening, something really big that just gives you a whole new side of your life that you didn't have before, okay? It's going to be a new creation, a new area of your life that you thrive in. Then we have the King of Crystals, we have the Ten of Crystals, we have the Queen of Shells, as well as the King of Feathers. So I see very authoritative energy again for you. I see that you're going to be in a position of a leadership role. You know, we have the King of Feathers, we have the King of Crystals. So the King of Crystals is all about things in the earthly realms, which ties in really well with the fact that, you know, you're going to be that leader like we had in Commander Ashtar. And in the King of Feathers, I want you to know here that just your speech is going to improve massively. So right now, public speaking may be something that you don't like. You may feel very awkward trying to explain things to people or trying to lead and just finding the right words. But I see here in the King of Feathers that you're just the kind of person that will develop very naturally into this person who is very logical. You're not going to let your feelings lead you when it comes to business decisions. You're going to make sure that you're always making the best decision possible based on logic, okay, based on facts. And in the Queen of Shells, I do see that in your personal life, however, you're very compassionate, you're very caring. The Queen of Shells is also like the ultimate queen of sort of like being a motherly, fatherly figure, that natural nurturer. So your own family may be in the picture 5 years from now, or just generally being that person who gives other people the warmth that they need, because so many people out here, they don't have a single soul that they feel that warmth from, but you radiate it in your personal life. But business wise, like, you are all business, okay? Then in the Ten of Crystals, one thing that I see here is stability as well as a lot of attainment in the earthly realm. So I want you to focus on not allowing your life to become too cluttered, because you may gain so many things in the earthly realms that you just have too much stuff, okay? So focus on making sure that anything that you gain in the earthly realms, any sort of financial stability that you feel that you have, that you actually turn it into stability. So don't just spend your money on things, make sure that you invest your money in what really holds value. So for example, a $800 pair of shoes does not really hold value, but if you put $800 into stocks, or you start to put it away to save for real estate, of course that can really grow in value and hold its value in a different way than material items that are like a one-stop shop. You know what I mean. So anyways, all my beautiful Geminis, I really hope that this reading gave you insight. I hope that it makes you feel excited for your future and for your life 5 years from now. Let me know down below what really hit home and what you really enjoyed about this reading. And of course, if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my beautiful Cancerians, and welcome to your reading. So I'm going to be conducting this reading completely intuitively, so just lean back and enjoy your reading. First and foremost, we have the Four of Acorns, we have the King of Acorns, as well as the Four of Shells. So in the Four of Acorns as well as the King of Acorns, I see fiery energy that is very passionate and just ready to conquer this world. So all my dear Cancerians, in the Four of Acorns, I want you to know here that just being a little bit more in a community, that is what I see 5 years from now, okay? I see that you will find comfort and togetherness. So this could be your own family. This could be just a very like stable friends group, or just generally a community where you feel like you're a valued member, okay? You really feel like you're getting the appreciation that you deserve, and you feel as though you're kind of like the leader, okay? That is one thing that I see in the King of Acorns. I see that you're the person who is optimistic. You're the person who is innovative when it comes to finding new solutions to problems. So in correlation to your career, I see that 5 years from now, this just shows that you're really working well in a leadership role, okay? And you're the kind of person who can step up to the plate if you need to. In the Four of Shells, one thing that I see here is that 5 years from now, you will be soul searching, okay? You will be in a situation here where you're re-evaluating things. So you may come to a point in your life where you're at a crossroads, where you're like, do I start my own business? Do I branch off into a different industry? Do I go back to school? Do I maybe even do something completely crazy and just go travel the world? So I see that you will be at a point where you're really thinking of making a big change, of experiencing something new, and you're a little petrified, okay? You're a little scared, and you may want to consult in people who are closest to you in order to give you some good advice. Then we have the Seven of Acorns, okay? More fiery, passionate energy with this beautiful water sign. So I want you to know here in the Seven of Acorns that you are very determined to get things done, okay? 5 years from now, especially when it comes to this big change that is occurring, this thing that just completely is out of character for you, but you know that you need it for your personal growth. I see that you're determined to just get it done, okay? Once you've made up your mind, that is what you're doing. And furthermore, in the Seven of Acorns, I see that jumping through hoops, it's like nothing to you. When you know what you want, or when it is about protecting your family, like, you will do whatever it takes to provide for your loved ones, as well as to make sure that you are the best version of yourself. Anybody who comes in between that, ooh, I don't want to be that person, okay? So I definitely see that this determination is really shaping your reality. Then we have the Ten of Acorns and the Knight of Crystals. God, there's so much fiery, passionate energy that is really speaking about your life 5 years from now. In the Ten of Acorns, one thing that I see here is a lot of responsibility, okay? One thing that I see is that you've dedicated a lot of time to things that you really care about. So maybe building a family, maybe building your own business that is kind of like your baby. And I see that the responsibility is weighing heavy on you, okay? 5 years from now, you will really feel like you are the glue, that you are the rock that keeps everything together in your life. And sometimes being in that situation may cause you to want to reevaluate, as we had in the Four of Shells, and may want you to just break out of that mold and do something completely different, something that puts you in a completely different environment and vibe, just to reset. So that may be why you want to do like this crazy thing, okay? In the Knight of Crystals, one thing that I see here is that you have a lot of determination to really just get your health back on track. So maybe 5 years of now, you have fallen off off the bandwagon a little bit, okay? Maybe 5 years from now, you will feel as though you're not as healthy as you could be. So you're trying to gather your determination and your energy in order to focus again on being fit, you know, running, really working out, eating healthily. So it could be that if you did start your own family, that you didn't have as much time as you wanted to, or when it comes to your work, you know, that just chewed up more time than you wanted it to, so you were unable to really focus on your body. But I see that just like being fitter than ever is your goal 5 years from now. Then we have El Moria as well as Isis. Okay, so all my Cancerians, I want you to know here in El Moira the fact that the universe is always going to be with you. So don't be afraid of how things are going to turn out. Usually things always work themselves out, okay? You've made it up until this point, like you will make it 5 more years. And furthermore, I just want you to know that you can put on kind of like this protective sleeve, okay? You can allow yourself to just be love, okay? And I know that it's very hard to share this side with other people, especially as a Cancer. You're like the little crab who likes to be home, who likes to be in their shell, who likes to be where they know how things work, okay? I can completely relate. If any of you guys know me or have read the description box, you know that I'm a Cancer as well. So I want you to know here that the only way how you can really have your dreams become a reality is when you step outside of your shell a little bit, and also when you don't feel the need to always protect yourself. Know that the universe is doing a lot of that, okay? Karma works its magic. You don't need to take on that role. You just need to focus on yourself, focus on being loving and caring. And furthermore, one thing that I see here in Isis is the fact that magic is manifesting. So 5 years from now, your goals, your dreams, they're becoming a reality. You will think to yourself, wow, I never thought this day would come. That's what you will think to yourself 5 years from now. You will be like, wow, I used to pray for times like this, and look at me now. So I definitely see like stepping up your game is a big thing for you, as well as just getting to a point where you feel like magic is something that you can manifest. You don't need to wait for it to just randomly happen. You know how to create success. Then we have the eagle, we have the moon, we have the elder, as well as the drum. So in the drum, one thing that I see here is just that journeying, you know, traveling is more a part of your life 5 years from now. I see that traveling is something that just connects you so much to this world and just will like allow you to see things from a completely different perspective. That is what I see in the eagle, okay? Sometimes when you're in the same spot, when you go say to the same workplace, to the same school, when you live in the same place and you haven't been able to travel to discover for a long time, it can make you a little more narrow-minded than you had ever sort of considered being. And I want you to know that traveling really opens your eyes, it changes your perspective, and I see that that will be something that is completely changed 5 years from now, okay? I want you to know that just traveling more as well as connecting with your lineage, that is one thing that I see that will cause a fundamental change in you. You will be more concerned with what your ancestors have gone through. You will be more concerned with your family history, but in a positive way, okay? So if your family history consists of anything that you're afraid of, like a negative pattern such as, you know, alcoholism or dealing with mental illness, you know, there's so many things that could be a pattern in your family history, maybe some sort of like physical ailment. You will realize that you are not that pattern. You are not your ancestors. You shape your reality, your future, and your personality, and you don't need to allow the past to dictate it. But at the same time, you can still respect what your past means and what people from your past have gone through. You get what I mean? So last but not least, in the moon, I want you to know here that your dreams are so important, okay? 5 years from now, your dreams are more clearer. You will remember dreams when you wake up and you will see the meaning in them, and you will also get really great ideas in your dreams. So if you want to kind of like accelerate this process, keep a dream journal on your bedside table next to your bed, just where you can easily access it. And when you wake up, write down what you dreamt of, okay? Write down what happened, what it makes you feel like, because one thing that I see is that your dreams, those visions have a really, really scarily accurate meaning in your life 5 years from now. And you can already train yourself to remember your dreams a little, better, a little more vividly. And one thing that I see here is that just like your intuition and correlation with your dreams is just going to make you even more of that kind of like psychic tendency person, okay? You may already feel like you have a lot of psychic powers. You may already feel like you're somebody who is intuitively really on point, but 5 years from now, you're going to be on a whole nother playing field. So all my dear Cancerians, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it gave you insight as well as motivation, and that you feel excited for your future. Let me know down below what really hit home, and of course, if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello all my dear Leos, and welcome to your reading. So today's reading is going to be conducted completely intuitively, so lean back and enjoy, and let's see what's happening in your life 5 years from now. We have Commander Ashtar as well as El Moria. So all my dear Leos, I want you to know here in Commander Ashtar that you will be the kind of person who has a very strong leadership role. So you may be the leader in your family, at your work, your personal life. You are in full control and you know it. So I want you to know that this can lead to a little bit of bossy tendencies, okay? But one thing that I see here in El Moria is the fact that the universe is really going to like guide you to teach you how to conduct yourself. I see that you will be able to know how powerful you are, but not use it to your advantage in any sort of negative way. You're using your power in order to make sure that you are walking your talk, okay? You're leading by example, and that you're making sure that everything turns out as best possible for the entire community, okay? You're not selfish, you're really focused on growth as a whole in your life. And then we have Serapis Bay as well as Charity. So one thing that I see in Serapis Bay is a glow up, okay? 5 years from now, you'll be at a point in your life where you have truly moved into your truest form, into your highest self, into your true self, and you have just risen above darkness, okay? One thing that I see is that there is a lot of light here 5 years from now. There is a situation where you have gone through a very, very dark period of your life, but you came out on top, okay? 5 years from now, you will not even be able to recognize yourself. The glow up will be insane, okay? And I'm not just talking physically, but also internally. I know, Leos, you guys are physically very attractive, okay? I don't think you need to hear it anymore. You already know. But furthermore, I definitely see that mentally the glow up is going to be on a whole nother level. In Charity here, one thing that I see here is that you have to connect a little bit more with your spiritual side or religious side, whatever it is that you believe in. You may also just believe in, the laws of nature, but I see that there is a lot of learning to do there. And I see that 5 years from now, because of this learning curve, because you have invested time in learning more about all of these things, you will be able to manifest and to ask and receive. You will realize that if you want something, I know ask and receive sounds like just saying, universe, like I want a new car, and then it just like poof appears. But you will realize that in order to gain something, you have to put out value. So if you want something worth $1 million, you will have to put out a value that is worth $1 million. And you will then ask the universe, what value can I put out? What can I give in order to acquire what I want? Okay, so this is going to be a complete mindset shift that you'll be able to use really easily in order to acquire the things that you desire. Then we have the World as well as the Knight of Acorns. So as you can see, I'm excited about the World card, all my dear Leos. In the World, I see fulfillment, I see celebration. The World is such a favorable card, and it just shows that 5 years from now, you're at a point in your life where you are happy, where you're fulfilled, where you're content, where things are working the way they're supposed to. And in transformation, one thing that I see here is a big sense of liberation. So maybe there is something that is really bugging you, okay? It could be maybe something like coming out. Liberation could stem from a place where you can finally be yourself, where you can finally be the way you want to be, say at work, maybe start your own business. Liberation is something different for each and every one of us, but through the fact that you will be able to push through your fears and not feel so trapped and like you have to be this person that you are now, like you can be more liberated and really open up this little part of you that is still hidden, or maybe big part of you that is still hidden. I see that that is a big factor that just ties into your fulfillment and is the driving force behind it. In the Knight of Acorns, one thing that I see here is that taking action is a big thing, okay? You won't be talking 5 years from now, you'll be doing, okay? You have always been the kind of person who has been determined to succeed, but 5 years from now, okay, things are going to be even more different. You will have people depending on you, so that is like an extra factor of why you are going to not accept anything less than excellence as well as success. Then in the Nine of Feathers, one thing that I see here is a change of perspective, okay? 5 years from now, you will see things differently, and you will realize that you cannot just rely on friends and family for empowerment. And this may have been a lesson that you have to learn very painfully, especially if you go through a dark phase and you feel like people weren't there for you the way you needed them to be there for you, and you had to do a lot of things by yourself. You had to take care of your own confidence. You had to empower yourself. You know, that can really teach you to depend on yourself more and to never make yourself be in such a vulnerable position that you can't get yourself out of it. So that is one thing that I see for you. Then we have the Shaman, we have the Traveler, we have the Heart Guardian, as well as Spring. So all of my dear Leos, one thing that I see here in Spring is that you will have seeds that are growing, okay? These are not sown right now, but you will probably sow them like within the next 2 to 3 years. That is one thing that I see within your reading, and you will really see them grow and thrive. You will see that it is so important for you to try things in different directions. That is one thing that I see in correlation to the Traveler as well as the Shaman. You have to trust in the fact that when you venture out of what you're used to, when you try and like plant little seeds in different areas, okay, maybe even different areas of this world, you can see things grow that you never even thought was like possible for you to accomplish. But you need to like go out of your way to find those things. So inform yourself about personal finances, inform yourself about how you can create more wealth, how you can create more personal growth, and then actually like actively start to sow those seeds, okay? 5 years from now, one thing that I see here in the Heart Guardian is love, okay? Allowing yourself to be loved a lot more. Maybe that's something that you struggle with right now because self-acceptance is there, but it could be a little better. You know, you could feel a little more worthy. You could feel a little more that if somebody is in your life that they truly love you for you. So I definitely see a little bit of doubt right now that is going to be gone 5 years from now. I see that you will allow yourself to love as well as just receive like compliments and love. Right now, if somebody gives you a compliment or too much love, you may feel a little icky about it. You may feel a little weird. You may feel a little like, why is this happening? Like, how can I reciprocate? Okay, this is too much for me. But I want you to know that 5 years from now, you're just gonna take it all in, okay? And you're finally gonna be able to receive. And you may have been the one who gives more love, but 5 years from now, you will finally be able to lean back, receive, and not feel weird about it, and just know that now is your time to really soak up and take in all the love whilst celebrating and just being in this situation of fulfillment. So all my dear Leos, I truly hope that you enjoyed your highly favorable reading. I hope that it gave you motivation and it inspired you, and that it gave you clarity on some things that you may have been struggling with. Let me know down below how you enjoyed your reading, and furthermore, if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my gorgeous Virgos, and welcome to your reading. So your reading is going to be conducted completely intuitively, so just lean back and enjoy the messages that the universe has in stock for you. So first and foremost, we have Serapis Bey as well as Commander Ashtar. So one thing that I see in Serapis Bey is just a big glow up, okay? All my Virgos, I want you to know that you may be a little shy, okay? You may be very smart, but you kind of like keep it to yourself. But one thing that I see here is kind of like this big blow up of confidence, okay? 5 years from now, you will probably not even recognize yourself. You will be like, who is that person? Okay, I want to get to know them. I want to be them. So I definitely see that there is going to be a lot of moving into your true self and just being that person that you look up to now. That is one thing that I see in Commander Ashtar. I see that you will feel as though you can do it finally, okay? You will move into this person that you have always dreamt of being, and all of a sudden it'll just come naturally to you. It won't feel fake, it won't feel like you're trying too hard. 5 years from now, you are going to be like naturally like Beyonce status, okay? That is one thing that I see for you. Then we have Dwell Cool as well as Master Buddha. So in Master Buddha, one thing that I see here is just sort of like this increase in awareness of who you are, and that is probably the reason of this big glow up, okay? 5 years from now, you will feel so much more connected to yourself as a person, and just know that you can trust your inner voice to be confident. So right now, as I said, you may be shy or you may struggle with your confidence a little bit, and I definitely see that, you know, you will just keep reminding yourself that you're on the right path. And 5 years from now, one thing that I see here is that you will be taking one step at a time, and that will propel you to happiness and fulfillment a lot quicker than you had ever expected. Because right now, maybe you look at the big picture, you feel really intimidated and like everything is so far away, but 5 years from now, you will know that you can just take it easy. You can just be cool. You don't need to worry. And you will have had successes along the way that gave you this confidence where now you just know, like, all I need to do is stick to the plan. I just need to keep, you know, moving forward bit by bit, and I'm eventually going to get there. Then we have the Wise One as well as the Seer. So 5 years from now, one thing that I see is this sort of clairvoyance, okay? This really close connection to psychic abilities, to being able to already foresee what may occur, okay? So I definitely see as though you're going to be this person who has this deep intuition that guides them throughout their life. And 5 years from now, furthermore, in the Wise one thing that I see is that you will have grown so much within the current situation that is painful. So maybe right now you're going through a very painful time, which, you know, pain is normal. We'll always go through pain as human beings. But 5 years from now, you know, in the Wise one thing that I see is that you're going to be so much more mature, okay? You're going to handle things so differently because you know yourself better. And in the Seer, I see here that, you know, just moving beyond the current situation, not sweating whatever is bothering you, but just making sure that you're looking into what you can do in order to move forward is just a big change from where you're at right now. Because maybe right now when something goes wrong, you stress a lot, you're kind of neurotic, you don't really know what to do, but 5 years from now, like, you have a plan, okay? When situation A happens, you have a plan, like a plan for situation A. When situation D happens, you have a plan for situation D. You know what I mean? So you're a lot more prepared for life and unexpected events. Then we have the Sun, we have the Hermit, we have the Knight of Acorns, as well as the World. So all my beautiful Virgos, I want you to know in the World, this is a very favorable card, arguably one of the most favorable cards in tarot. I want you to know that the World represents fulfillment. It represents you accomplishing really big milestones. So 5 years from now, you will have accomplished something big, you know, a big dream, a big goal, and you're looking to the next milestone. You're already looking at what you can do in order to move forward and do like the next big thing in your life. But you're also just celebrating, okay? You're also just taking a big moment for yourself. Then in the Sun, you know, we have joy, we have vitality, we have you just really enjoying the moment, which leads me to think that 5 years from now, you will feel as though, you know, a lot of the things that you have wanted to accomplish are now finally here. So you can take a little bit of time out to relax. And this sort of leads me to think that between now and 5 years, like, it'll be one hell of a ride, okay? You're going to be working like crazy. The glow up is really going to eat away at you and use up a lot of your precious energy, but know that it is all worth it. And as long as you are able to embrace the Hermit, okay, as long as you're able to make sure that you always make enough time to relax, to retreat, to just give yourself a time out, that is one thing that I see that is really important for you. But overall, 5 years from now, okay, you are chilling. You're just sitting there, you're sleeping, you're resting, you're wrinkle-free, okay? And you're just basking in the accomplishments that you have been able to establish for yourself. In the Knight of Acorns, one thing that I see though is that, your drive is already kind of brewing. So you may have to almost force yourself to take a break. You may have to almost force yourself to relax a little bit, which you should. Okay, so if you remember this reading 5 years from now, mark my words, take enough time to recuperate. It is great to have drive. It is great to want to take action. But what is not good is to, just burn the wick at both ends. Is that how it goes? You know what I mean? To just exert way more energy than you have, because energy is finite, okay? It is not infinite. All of us have a limit of energy that we can use up. And I want you to know that when that well is empty, make sure that you really give it enough time to be fueled up again. Then we have the snake as well as the sun. Okay, so we have double sun. So all my Virgos, I just want you to be excited for your life 5 years from now, okay? It's gonna be fun. You're going to enjoy your success. You're going to be in a very happy spot. And this has a lot to do also with this, self-awareness and growth. There's a reason why you're watching this video. There's a reason why you're into these kind of videos. You like the motivation. You like to be called out on things that you can improve on, because guess what? You're not afraid to look in the mirror and to say hey, I could really improve on this, or this could really need an adjustment. And that is one thing that I see in the snake, okay? You will have shed so much old skin. You're like a brand new baby 5 years from now, okay? And I want you to know that that is something really great about you, that you're able to shed skin over and over and over again, which means that a lot of growth is happening within these next 5 years. So you are not even close to being able to fit in the skin that you fit in now in 5 years, okay? You will have just, as a person, expanded to such a different type of personal growth that I just want you to know that shedding skin can also come with growing pains, okay? Growing pains are normal, and sometimes it can feel as though things are moving too quickly and you just want to break down and cry. And sometimes it's okay to just do that, okay? And sometimes it's okay to be the victim, but give yourself 5 minutes tops, okay? But then you put your crown back on, you just readjust, and you continue doing life. You continue glowing. You continue making sure that you're accomplishing the things that you know that you can. So don't let your insecurities get to you, okay? 5 years from now, if you continue on the path that you're on, if you continue having this drive, having this sort of feeling of knowing that you have to take action, when to take action, and just making sure that you're leading, I see that, 5 years from now, you will think to yourself, that is the best decision that I ever made. And it was the best thing to never let any sort of emotional trauma get me down. So all my dear Virgos, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it gave you insight. Let me know down below what really hit home and what you really enjoyed or didn't expect. And I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my dear Libras, and welcome to your reading. So I'm going to be conducting your reading completely intuitively, so let's figure out exactly where you're going to be 5 years from now. So first and foremost, we have draw cool. So one thing that I want you to know here is that 5 years from now, you will sort of have this notion of, yes, I'm on the right path. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing, okay? This life purpose just oozing out of each and every cell of you, and just knowing exactly where you're headed. That is one thing that I see that you're going to be doing 5 years from now. You're going to be taking a step each day towards more happiness, more success, more joy, and just this confidence in knowing that what you're doing is meant to be. Then we have Lord Shiva. So in Lord Shiva, one thing that I see here is just this sort of rising up, this honoring of your inner force. I see that you will be able to know when steps are being presented to you and when you have to take them. So right now there may be opportunities in your life that you don't even see, that you don't even notice. So they pass you by, you miss out on them. But I want you to know that 5 years from now, you will see each and every one of these opportunities. You will know exactly which ones are for you and which ones aren't, and you will be able to discern and pick and choose exactly what works best for you, your career, your love life, your social life. Just in order to make sure that you're not missing out on things. So educating yourself as to which opportunity is best for you is going to be a hard road, okay? These next 5 years, I'm not gonna lie, it's not gonna be easy, but at the same time, I see that you're not a quitter, okay? You're the kind of person who, yes, you may be sometimes a little gullible, you may sometimes believe people a little too easily, but you learn, okay? You're not somebody who like just lets things go. You learn and you take that knowledge with you, you turn it into wisdom. Then we have the Archangel Michael as well as Diana. So all of my dear Libras, one thing that I see here is the fact that you will be able to really focus on what you desire. One thing that I see is that you're going to be setting your sights really, really high. So 5 years from now, I see that you are always going to be expecting the best possible outcome. So if maybe now you're sometimes a little bit of a glass half empty kind of person, you kind of ask yourself, what if this goes wrong? What if this doesn't work out? What if this, what if that? I want you to know that 5 years from now, like, that is not on your radar anymore. You're always like, what can I gain from this, okay? The positive outcome that is possible, what could that do for me? So you're always looking at the glass as half full instead of half empty. And in the Archangel Michael, one thing that I see here is that, you are safe. You kind of have like these protectors around you, your spirit guides. You feel like you are protected and not invincible, but you know that there is some force out there that is keeping you safe, and you just kind of like surrender your concerns. That is one thing that I see in the Archangel Michael. Maybe right now you're a little bit of a worrywart, or you're a little bit of a person who thinks to themselves, oh, well, I just really hope that everything goes well, but I don't really know. As I said, a worrywart. But that sort of side of you is going to really be put to rest 5 years from now. You'll just be focused on knowing that everything happens for a reason, and at the end of the day, you are mostly just protected. You're mostly in situations that are meant for you, and worrying is actually just going to bring you closer to the things that you're worried about. So you might as well just put them on the back burner and not even waste any energy, thoughts, or just any of your mind on your worries. Then we have the Nine of Shells as well as the Eight of Feathers. So in the Nine of Shells, one thing that I see here is emotional fulfillment. Okay, the Nine of Shells just shows that you're in a situation where there's love, where everything is kind of like warm and cozy. So you may be in a committed relationship where you feel as though it gives you courage to try new things. That is one thing that I see in the Eight of Feathers. You're solution oriented. This relationship that you're in gives you confidence and allows you to really discern between what makes sense and what doesn't. And maybe right now you feel as though you're not as supported. Maybe right now you feel as though you're a little fearful of taking risks. But 5 years from now, you will feel so supported by your relationships, by your sort of like emotional life, that will make you very unafraid to take further risks in life. Then we have the Knight of Crystals as well as the Ace of Feathers. So in the Knight of Crystals, one thing that I see here is that starting new business ventures is one thing that is coming for you 5 years from now. So maybe right now you may think to yourself, I'm not an entrepreneur, I don't know how to start a business, I'm afraid of that. But 5 years from now, let me tell you, you are the kind of person who is fearless enough to start up their own thing. You're the kind of person who is fearless enough to invest in a startup company, to be a part of a startup company, to be that person that puts the first foot forward when it comes to innovation, to support it, to nurture it, and to just have the endurance to follow it through in order to then reap the biggest possible benefits. And that is only possible because your relationships, your social life is at such a stable place where you feel like you have so much love and support that comes out of it. Then in the Ace of Feathers, one thing that I see here is just this sort of new chapter when it comes to who you are mentally. So it's a new beginning, okay? 5 years from now, you may feel as though you need a complete change mentally. Maybe you will all of a sudden be a lot more spiritual, or you will completely forget about that and just focus on the laws of nature, on things that are very analytical. But I want you to know here that it's important for you to keep in mind that everything sort of works together, okay? Of course, you can make a difference between spirituality as well as science, but at the same time, your mind, your body, your feelings, just keep in mind that they're important. And even if you do feel as though you really want to focus on science, you really want to focus on things that you can see, that you can hold, that are more factual, keep in mind that there are a lot of unexplained things that we have yet to explain and things that we have yet to discover, that we should not completely dismiss those just because we have not yet found a way to describe why certain things are happening. Then we have the She-Wolf, we have the High Priestess, we have the Direction Guardian, as well as the Fire Guardian. So I see a lot of protective energy around you 5 years from now. We have the Direction Guardian as well as the Fire Guardian. So 5 years from now, you will be at a crossroads where you can choose to follow your passions. And that is one thing that I see in the Direction Guardian. The Direction Guardian stands for a situation where you can choose your path and you can choose a new path. So you're on a path right now. You may change paths, but exactly 5 years from now, you will be at a big crossroads where you're looking down one side of the path and you see one option. You're looking down the other side of the path and you see what you're passionate about. You see an option where you really feel like, wow, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm passionate about. And I definitely see here that, of course, it would be best for you to just allow yourself to choose what you want. That is one thing that I see in the She-Wolf. I see that unleashing like your more wild side, the side of you where you're kind of like, whatever, let me just do it. I see that you will be a lot less worried, okay? You will be a lot more sort of playful and able to just do things without too much security, because you will know, as long as you believe in yourself and as long as you make sure that you put in the work and you have your support team around you, which you do, you know, emotional fulfillment, then victory is yours. Furthermore, here in the High Priestess, one thing that I see is that you are able to harness this sort of mystic power, okay? 5 years from now, the energy around you is very powerful. The energy around you will allow you to achieve things that are not possible right now. So what I mean by that is the fact that right now there may be too many things clouding up your mind and your judgment. But 5 years from now, you will be at a point where you can use your mind in a way that is more powerful, where you are able to harness more things out of that power, out of that knowledge, and that certainty. You know what I mean? So right now you don't have that full certainty of your capabilities. You're not as, how should I say, you're not as confident as you could be. But 5 years from now, having more confidence, having that certainty of your capabilities and knowing that your life is limitless is really going to change things up for you. But this is a process that takes a lot of time. You know, confidence is something that some people are just born with and some people have a lot of, and some people really need to like build that up through just little successes, through their support team, and through making sure that they don't give up. You know, some of us, we need accomplishments to feel successful and also to feel confident. Other people just feel confident like straight out of the womb. You know, it's kind of like unexplainable. But one thing that I see is that you want facts to back up your confidence, which you're going to rack up over these next 5 years. So I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading. I hope that you found it insightful. Let me know down below what really hit home. And of course, if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe for more tarot reading videos. And I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello all my beautiful Scorpios, and welcome to your reading. So your reading is going to be conducted completely intuitively, so just lean back and enjoy the messages that the universe has for you. So we have Lord Ganesh as well as Lady Nada. So all my beautiful Scorpios, I want you to know in Lord Ganesh that obstacles are being removed, okay? 5 years from now, you will have so much less obstacles in your life. It is actually crazy, okay? I feel as though 5 years from now, you will be in a situation where your spiritual support is so high, where your connections are just so deep to your confidence, to the highest you, that you just don't even see obstacles. And when you don't see obstacles, you don't recognize them, you don't pay them any mind, you don't give them any power. Of course, those obstacles do not hold any sort of weight in your life. So that is where I see that you'll be 5 years from now, okay? You're not even going to think to yourself, oh, you know, this might be an obstacle or that might be an obstacle. No, you're just doing what you want to do. You're just going for it. And in Lady Nada, one thing that I see here here is just this awakening to accept more love, okay? I see here that giving and receiving in balance is a big thing. And right now, you may have people in your life who are taking a lot more than they are giving, and you're giving a lot more than you're taking. And that can really build resentment, okay, especially the Scorpio. That can really put you in a situation where you're kind of salty. But I see, forgiveness along the way, clearing out any sort of like emotional hardships that you may have from that messy situation, and just getting to a point where you're like, well, this has to be in balance. If it's not in balance and I'm not engaging with it, one thing that I'm not going to do is expend my energy, is dish up this big buffet and have everybody come eat, fill up their plate, take a little baggie to go, and just leave without even paying, without even offering anything in return, without even offering to invite me to their buffet. Okay, so just to give you a little picture that you can make for yourself. So I see that you're definitely going to only be inviting people to your buffet who invite you to theirs, or who at least pay, okay? So I definitely see like a time where emotional fulfillment is really more at the forefront, and you know what you want out of your relationships and what you are not going to tolerate, and you only want love where there is balance. You do not want to be in these situations anymore where it is out of balance. So I definitely see you really putting your foot down when it comes to that. Then we have Saint Germain as well as Krishna. So in Saint Germain, one thing that I see here is that you will be able to move completely beyond drama. So maybe now there could be some drama in your life that you have to engage with just because maybe your friends, your family are bringing it up, or they're making it a big deal. But one thing that I see here in Saint Germain is just the fact that you can now make room for more good energy, okay? 5 years from now, drama is not even going to be in your vocabulary. That is so a thing of the past. And in Krishna, one thing that I see here is that, your devotion is really towards anything that makes you feel loved unconditionally. So your relationship, maybe children, your pets, just things that give you value. You're not here anymore for petty things. That is long gone for you. And furthermore, one thing that I see here in Krishna is just the fact that you have a lot of commitment towards things where you feel like your faith is in it, where you feel as though you're really getting spiritual value out of it. So it could be religion, it could be spirituality, it could just be self-development. Either way, 5 years from now, you're at a point where a lot of energy is being put into more self-development. So that could be just an extension of now, and 5 years from now, you're a lot further on your development, but you're still on it. You haven't stopped. You want to continue to evolve, continue to better yourself. Then we have the 5 of Feathers as well as the King of Feathers. So the feathers correspond to air signs, so there's strong air sign energy here in your life. In the 5 of Feathers, one thing that I see here is that 5 years from now, strategic moves, okay? You're not going to leave things up to the universe when it comes to your job, when it comes to people. I mean, you could, and it's always good to allow the universe to sort of take its time to make things happen in your life, but you're not going to leave things up to chances when it comes to your heart and when it comes to your emotions. One thing that I see in the 5 of Feathers is that you're resilient at this point. Okay, people have done enough to you, but 5 years from now, it's like exactly who is going to enter your life, who isn't going to enter your life, how you're going to make sure that you're successful at work, and you're not going to put your trust in anybody who has not proven that they are trustworthy. And that is one thing that I see in the King of Feathers. You're logical, okay? 5 years from now, you're not going to allow your emotions to take over. You're not going to think to yourself, well, Lisa was nice to me last week, so maybe I'll kind of help her out with work this week. Meanwhile, you always help her out, and she was literally nice to you just one time. So obviously that is just an example. Anybody whose name is Lisa, I mean no shade towards you. All I'm trying to say here is that you are not going to be the doormat, okay? You're not going to be the person who is being walked all over anymore, and that may alienate a few people. I see that this development to this King of Feathers type of energy where you're logical, you're discerning, you're making sure that things are in balance, okay? That there is justice, not only for you, but for the people around you. You're not going to accept anybody treating other people disrespectfully. You don't want it around you, you don't want it in your life, that may alienate some people who like pettiness. That may alienate some people who like drama, okay? So be prepared to lose those people and be prepared to have a smaller friend circle 5 years from now, but one that is really, really worth it. You know, a friend circle where you know exactly that you can count on each and every one of these people. Then we have the Eight of Feathers, we have the Knight of Crystals, we have the Knight of Shells, as well as the Ace of Feathers. Okay, so first of all, in the Eight of Feathers, one thing that I see here is abundance, okay? Another thing that I see here is a plethora of solutions. So when you're presented with a problem 5 years from now, you automatically already have 5 million ideas of solutions. Furthermore, in the Nine of Shells, I see emotional fulfillment. So if you want a relationship, if you want a family, if you want a certain situation emotionally, one thing that I see here is that you're either very close to completion or you have already completed it and you're just kind of like enjoying your personal life, okay, your romantic life. In the Knight of Crystals, one thing that I see here is just this kind of like determination, okay, in correlation to the Ace of Feathers. I feel as though it has a lot to do with the determination to only build relationships that are truly worth it, okay? You're going to invest time in people who are worth it, but at the same time, you don't mind saying bye-bye to anybody who shows a face that you do not appreciate or a face that is false, okay? So you are not going to tolerate any sort of lies, and you're not here for any deceit. So there's going to be a lot of sorting out that you're doing 5 years from now in your personal life, but overall, this is a time where you just show your strength. This is a time where you're like at your strongest point, where people do not even try and mess with you, where people know exactly the kind of energy that you exude and what they can get away with and what not, and they can't get away with very much anymore. Then we have Father Sky as well as the Animal Guardian. So in the Animal Guardian, I do see a very instinctual side, okay? 5 years from now, you're going to feel as though you can just go with things even if there are a lot of unknown factors. Right now, that may stress you out. Right now, you may like a little bit more security before you delve into something. But 5 years from now, I feel like you're just so much more relaxed, so much more able to not have to know every single detail before you know that a situation is right for you. So that is exactly what I mean with the Animal Guardian and trusting in your instincts. So you will just feel when something is right. You will feel when something is made for you, and then you're not going to question it too much. But of course, when something feels off, you are going to use your logic, okay? When something is very unknown to you in your feelings, okay? And I don't mean as in unknown, not knowing the outcome. Not knowing the outcome and not knowing what your intuition is trying to say or whether you feel good or bad about a situation are two different things. When your instinct is not clearly telling you to move forward, you're going to be logical. That is what I see in the King of Feathers. But when your instinct is telling you to go for something and it is an unknown, you don't know what the outcome will be, but you just trust in your instinct and you know that it's right for you, you are going to go for it, and you're most likely going to have a successful outcome because of this resilience that you've built up. If somebody says no to you along the way, or you have some sort of obstacle or failure, you don't quit, okay? 5 years from now, you know you're a winner 5 years from now, and you know that quitters quit and winners never quit, okay? So you will continue until you hit success. So this kind of resilience is really something that is unique to you. This kind of resilience is something that is going to put you ahead of the game just because you know that if you just keep trying, you can't fail, which really builds up your confidence and really makes you sort of step into the room with a sort of presence that I can't even explain, but people already know, like, this is a real one. So all my Scorpios, I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading. I hope that you found it insightful as well as motivational. Let me know down below what hit home for you. And of course, if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my dear Sagittariuses, and welcome to your reading. So your reading is going to be conducted completely intuitively, so let's get right into it and figure out exactly where you're standing 5 years from now. So we have Serapis Bay as well as the Shekinah. So one thing that I want you to know in Serapis Bay is that you're moving more into your true self. So 5 years from now, you're going to be your truest self yet, okay? You're not going to be afraid to express how you feel. You're not going to be afraid to express the truest and highest form of you. And I just definitely see that you're moving from a place of uncertainty, from a place of maybe a little bit of darkness or not as much self-love, to a place where you know who you are, you know your value, your worth, and you're not afraid to show it. You're not afraid to flaunt what you have. In the Shekinah, one thing that I see here is that expressing your gifts has a lot to do with this ascension, with this sort of, I want to call it a glow up, okay? So all my dear Sagittariuses, I want you to know here that just allowing yourself to go with the flow, you know, go with what life presents you with without being afraid, and just like unleashing your spirit, allowing yourself to be that truest and highest form of you, expressing what you have naturally been given, okay? And these natural gifts, it may be singing, it may be painting, it may be your leadership qualities, it may be you being an amazing cook. But one thing that I see is that you expressing this a lot more is going to allow you to move more into the person that you were always meant to be. And you're just like an enrichment to this world, okay? When you keep your gifts to yourself, we miss out. That's just how it is, okay? The people around you miss out, the world misses out. So make sure that you start expressing those gifts, as it will really, really change your life and your view of yourself. Then we have Gaia as well as Charity. So one thing that I see here in Gaia is just the fact that you're so much more mindful about the planet. So you may be more of a minimalist, you may have switched from meat-eating diet to a vegetarian diet, or from a vegetarian diet to a fully vegan diet, or from a vegan diet to just another, you know, vegan diet that is more mindful of, say, packaging, more mindful of getting things locally, as well as making sure that you're supporting people who are actually honoring the things that they put on their labels, which is a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. But furthermore, in Gaia, I want you to know here that being more grounded, that is one thing that I see for you, okay? Nothing can really shake you. You know who you are, and you're very concerned with environmental causes, even more than you are now. And 5 years from now, you know, you're really taking a strong stance, and you're making sure that your values align with your actions. And maybe right now you don't have the funds, you don't have the time to invest in more environmental causes, but 5 years from now, that has completely changed. In Charity, one thing that I see here is just being able to connect more with your guides, being able to connect more with the sort of energy that you feel is out there in the universe. So you will realize that when you put out good energy, when you put out value, you are able to receive more. So you will make more use of that 5 years from now. So we have love as well as the moon. So in love, obviously, we have a great situation for you romantically. So one thing that I see here is that there is a lot of trust, and that you really feel as though that the choice that you made for yourself romantically just hit the nail on the head, okay? You were fulfilled. You're in a situation where you feel as though, yes, this is meant to be for me, and you're just overall happy, okay? This is a mutually loving, caring situation. In the moon, one thing that I see here is that you have to be a little careful, okay? I see as though not everything is as it seems, especially when it comes to friends and family. The fact that you're so happy in your personal life may trigger a little bit of jealousy, and you may have already seen that now, and you may have already had this feeling of who may end up being jealous. And let me tell you, okay, they're still going to be jealous 5 years from now. No tea, no shade. So we have the 9 of feathers as well as the Knight of shells. So all my dear Sagittariuses, I want you to know here in the 9 of feathers that we have a situation here of self-empowerment. So whoever is jealous on you, whoever feels like they would want to drag you down, I see that 5 years from now, you are not giving one single F about what anybody says, okay? You're living your best life, and you're just sitting here like, if you want to be mad, then be mad. But me, okay? My love life is too good. My just general concern about this world is just so far removed from petty things, from jealousy, that like I just can't even relate, okay? You're just completely in a different area code than people who are still involved in drama. Then in the Knight of Shells, one thing that I see here is that the person you're with is very charming, okay? The person that you're with is attractive, and I see that that is something that you love, that is something that you appreciate, but at the same time, I see that them being really passionate about being intimate is something that you might also struggle with, okay? You might also sometimes feel like, oh, you know, I'm getting a little older, things are a little more difficult to keep up, okay? And I see that that may cause a little bit of insecurity, and that may be something that you want to work on more, not yourself physically, but just making sure that you don't allow that to get to yourself, that you come more into this feeling of knowing that the older you get, like the more attractive you can get. You don't have to feel as though this, you know, standard that society has set that being older means being less attractive. You are starting to learn that you don't have to let that be applied to you and your life. Then we have the Traveler, we have Spring, we have the High Priestess, as well as the Moon. So one thing that I see in the Traveler here is that you're moving in a completely new direction, and it is a direction that is going to allow you to use all of this new knowledge that you have gathered, okay? And in the Moon, I see that you will do this completely intuitively. You will not wait for any sort of thing to fall into place, okay? You're not going to say to yourself, if I make X amount of money, or if I am able to accomplish X, Y, or Z, then I will finally give myself the vacation of a lifetime. Then I will finally allow myself to start my own business. You will just do it as soon as you feel like, okay, now is kind of like a good situation. You're not going to wait for the perfect situation, but you're going to wait for a situation where you just feel like, okay, that was not bad. And in the Spring card, one thing that I see here is that 5 years from now is a very fertile time, okay? So there may be kind of like a pregnancy that has to do with you directly, starting your own family, or it may have to do with somebody very, very close to you. So offspring, kind of being like a mother, a father, an auntie, somebody just taking care of a very vulnerable little being. That is one thing that I see that is a big part of your life 5 years from now. So all my dear Sagittariuses, I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading. I hope that you found it insightful, and I hope that it gave you clarity. Let me know down below what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my gorgeous Capricorns, and welcome to your reading. So I'm going to be conducting your reading completely intuitively, so lean back and enjoy what the universe has to say about your life. So we have Bridget as well as Freya. So all my dear Capricorns. And Bridget, one thing that I see here is that 5 years from now, your inner strength will have increased tremendously. I see here that you will recognize just how much power you have, and the difference between now and 5 years from now is that your playing field is completely like on another level, okay? Right now you may feel like, yeah, you know, I'm kind of powerful, but you don't actually believe it. But 5 years from now, you will have gone through experiences that have taught you like, wow, the things that I can accomplish if I only believe in myself, amazing. So you're going to set your goals, your standards a lot higher than you're doing right now. And in Freya, one thing that I see here is that, you know, there are a lot of cycles that are going to happen between now and 5 years from now that are going to teach you, like, you know, you go through ups and downs, but at the end of the day, whenever you go through a down, that should not be a quote-unquote negative time, because if there aren't any downs, then how would there be ups, and vice versa? So be grateful for every sort of down and allow yourself to see the value in it. Allow yourself to see, like, how can I learn from this? What positives can I pull out of this? How can I see, like, how next time I can maybe make this down less down and have it be, you know, more of a mid down, okay? Not so, how can I make things in a way how I always have more positives than negatives that I'm dealing with? Then in Freya, furthermore, one thing that I see here is that 5 years from now, your sense for who is right for you and who is kind of like a snake is like off the charts, okay? You may have struggled with this previously, or people may have fooled you in the past, but not 5 years from now, okay? Your sense, your sort of like a picker for friends, love, family, it is on a different level because you're not going to risk being hurt, okay? So 5 years from now, nobody's messing with you because everybody can tell that you can see through any sort of BS. Then we have the Stag, we have the Moon, we have the Direction Guardian, as well as the Snake. Okay, so we spoke about a few snakes, and you definitely being able to discern between real ones and who the snakes are. But one thing that I see here in the Snake is actually a positive. Okay, one thing that I see here is that 5 years from now, you will have performed a lot of transformations. You will have gone through a lot of changes where you shed your old skin and where you kind of just took the reins back into your possession, okay? So you knew when you had to take a leap. And 5 years from now, taking leaps isn't going to be so scary because intuitively you will know when it's the right time, and you will kind of psych yourself up over the course of a day, 2 days, instead of months of procrastination, and you will take that leap that is necessary in order to further your career, in order to further your romantic life, in order to make sure that you're not wasting time, okay? So in the Direction Guardian, I want you to know that 5 years from now, you will be standing at a very big crossroad that will lead you to think what should I do here? But the fact that you have grown so much, the fact that you know that you can trust your intuition, any sort of big crossroad, even this one 5 years from now, is going to be very easy for you to discern between this is a good path for me, or that is an even better path for me. So I definitely see as though your picker, your chooser, your intuition is on an all-time high 5 years from now because you've really honed that skill. You've really made sure that you've invested time in self-development and that you allow yourself to be the one taking the lead. In the Stag Spirit, furthermore, I want you to know here that you will be thriving 5 years from now, okay? The Stag Spirit is a very proud spirit. It is a spirit that shows that you have made it to a point where you can keep your head held up high. You know, you can walk tall and proud, and the accomplishments that you have been able to gain, that you have been able to pull into your life, to achieve, to work towards, are really what give you that strength to show others hey, you can do this too. Then we have the Three of Acorns, we have the Sun, we have the Awakening, and the Hanged Man. So one thing that I see here is that 5 years from now, in the Three of Acorns, your foresight is going to be exceptionally far, okay? You're going to make 5-year plans, 10-year plans, and you will have set yourself up for success already, okay? You're not leaving things up to chance. Maybe now you kind of just go with the flow, you kind of just wait for things to happen, and then you readjust depending on the situation. But I see that you will really be planning ahead 5 years from now, okay? You will plan your entire week, your entire month. You will make sure that you always set yourself up for success. And in the Hanged Man, one thing that I see here is an increase in patience. So maybe right now, you're not very patient, and that may have to do with a lot of people testing your patience. But through you sort of weeding out those people who test your patience unnecessarily, you will have a lot more patience for the people in your life who deserve that patience. And furthermore, in correlation to the Sun, one thing that I see here is that it may have to do with children. It may have to do with very young souls in your life where you just have to have that patience, because if you don't, well, it's not going to be a very good situation. Furthermore, in Awakening, one thing that I see here is this sort of renewal, okay? I see an enlightenment 5 years from now where you may have a life-changing experience, an epiphany that will really just bring you to a new awakening, okay? So you may feel like you're going to through a spiritual transition right now, but 5 years from now, you have something even bigger, an even bigger awakening, something that will truly change you at the core and that will change the way you think. So this may be an encounter with somebody who is a lot less fortunate than you. This may be sort of the birth of a child near you, around you, in your life, that just makes you see things so much more compassionately, so much more differently, and in a way how you couldn't have changed your worldview had you not experienced that. Because of course you can kind of think it, you can kind of try and be more compassionate, but if you don't know, you just don't know. And then we have the High Priestess as well as the Star. So in the Star, one thing that I see here is a lot of hope, okay? 5 years from now, I see that you're at such a peaceful situation with your life that you have so much more hope for this world. You have hope for the future, as well as potentially your offspring or offspring from somebody close to you, because right now maybe you have kind of like a pessimistic world view. And one thing that I see here in the High Priestess is the fact that you know that your knowledge is enough in order to really prime those around you who are younger, as I said, maybe even your own kids, to make sure that they will be okay in this world, in this lifetime, something that you may have feared beforehand. Another thing that I see here is you taking over the role of taking care of somebody who really needs you at that point. That is one thing that I see in the High Priestess, just being this noble person who is able to sacrifice their time, sacrifice some of their finances, just in order to make sure that somebody else is okay. So I definitely see that, overall it will be a joyful time. We have the Sun in your reading for a reason. It is one of the more favorable cards in the tarot deck. And one thing that it stands for is a lot of joy and vitality. So health-wise, there is an increase in just stability when it comes to your health, as well as you just being more aware of how your body functions and how you can naturally heal it. So all of my Capricorns, I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading. I hope that you found it insightful. Let me know down below what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my beautiful Aquariuses, and welcome to your reading. So your reading is going to be conducted completely intuitively. I want to get straight into it so we can figure out exactly what is going on in your life 5 years from now. So we have Joan of Arc as well as Krishna. So one thing that I see here in Joan of Arc is that you are kind of like that voice of truth, okay? 5 years from now, you're the kind of person who is going to just say it like it is. And you may already be that way, but the platform that you're going to say it on is going to be increased, okay? One thing that I see here is that you will be able to just focus on your purpose, focus on your message, and be unafraid to let out exactly what you mean to say without fear of persecution, okay? I definitely see here that speaking your truth is something that you will be able to do in a bigger plane, maybe public speaking, maybe motivational speaking, maybe you will be on TV, talking about some issues in our society, and you will be that person where people are like, wow, this person is inspirational, this person really has balls, okay? And in Krishna, one thing that I see here is that, your commitment to trying to make this world a better place is being recognized. And the fact that you're very forward thinking, okay, that is an Aquarius thing, and that you're able to think outside of the box is really going to be praised. You're going to get the recognition that you deserve, finally. And you're going to feel as though changes are actually slowly but surely occurring. Then we have Lady Nada as well as Lord Ganesh. So one thing that I see here for you 5 years from now, infinite abundance, okay? One thing that I see here is that anything that may have stressed you out before, so maybe right now, is not a stressor anymore. So that could be money, that could be love, that could be children, that could maybe be your parents, your friend circle. I see that that is a non-issue anymore. Rather than that, you are more focused on just accepting as well as giving and spreading love. I see here that giving and receiving and balance is really at the core of your life 5 years from now. You don't want to give without receiving anymore. You will not. And at the same time, you're the kind of person where maybe right now, if somebody gives you a compliment, you're like, oh, no, I'm not even that pretty. But 5 years from now, you're just going to be like, yeah, thank you. Well, not yeah, but you're going to say thank you. You're going to accept love. You're going to accept compliments without feeling weird about it. And that is one thing that just shows that you don't feel ashamed to claim what you deserve. And then we have the Nine of Crystals as well as the Sun. So the Sun is arguably one of the most favorable cards of the tarot deck, and I want you to know here that there is a lot of vitality and joy in your life. There is a lot of just happiness and being able to enjoy your successes. And in the Nine of Crystals, one thing that I see is a lot more security. So you may have a lot more streams of revenue 5 years from now. You may be in a situation where your abundance in the earthly realms is really at a point where you're not worried about money, okay? You're not worried about your health, about your time management, because you got it all done, okay? You made sure that you set yourself up. So furthermore, in your reading, we have the 10 of Acorns as well as the 4 of Acorns. So the Acorns correspond to fire signs. So this is energy that shows a lot of drive. And in the 10 of Acorns, one thing that I see here is that you're very dedicated towards your cause, okay? You're going to make sure that you keep things moving, you keep things pushing. In the 10 of Acorns, I see a lot of energy, and also that you understand the responsibility that you hold in order to make your life a success. You're not going to put any sort of blame on anybody else. You know that you have nobody but yourself to blame if your life doesn't turn out the way you would like it to. In the 4 of Acorns, one thing that I see here is that 5 years from now, you will be able to chill out a little bit as well. So you do have the drive, you do want to get things done, but at the same time, you know, with the accomplishments that you have been able to bring into your life, you can take those vacations, okay? You can take that time off. You can make sure that you're spending time with your friends and your family, and you can kind of also just like enjoy these successes. You don't always need to be on and working. Then we have the Traveler, we have Spring. Ooh, what else do we have in your reading? We have the Mirror Guardian as well as the Shield Maiden. Okay, so all my Aquariuses, I want you to know 5 years from now, your direction is going to change, okay? So maybe you feel right now like you will always be working in the medical field, in teaching, but one thing that I see in the Traveler is that you're going to move in a completely new direction that you never even considered. So 5 years from now, you will see a lot of potential. That is what I see in Spring. You will see potential in a business opportunity. You will see potential in something that you could do that you know nothing about, but you kind of have a good feeling about it. So you're going to take the leap of faith and you're going to go for it. In the Mirror Guardian, I do see though that once you take the leap of faith, you're going to take a lot of time to reflect, and you may think to yourself, wow, was this a bit of an impulsive decision? Why am I reflecting now and not before I made the decision? But overall, in the Shield Maiden, one thing that I see here is that your ability to make plans, focus, and just really be there in the moment, okay? You're not a worrywart. You're not going to be worrying about it. Once you have made up your mind, you're actually just going to go in, get it done, okay? You're going to make sure that you drive this thing to success. I see that that is really going to elevate you, okay? That is really going to bring you to a point where you know that if you take a leap, you're going to follow through with it. You're not going to sit there, twiddle your thumb or worry. You're actually going to just focus on it. And yes, you may reflect on the fact that maybe you made a decision kind of impulsively, but at the same time, no matter what decision you make, if your intuition is pushing you towards it, if you feel like it is the right thing for you, you're going to stick to it as long as it feels like it's the right thing for you. So overall, one thing that I see here for you 5 years from now is just kind of like this fulfillment when it comes to your accomplishments, okay? Your goals, the things that you have set your mind to do, as well as your security in the earthly realms. Furthermore, in the 10 of Acorns, one thing that I see that you may struggle with is just a whole lot of responsibility. So that could be from your family, a family that you started, or just the fact that, you know, you feel like you're somebody who always has a lot on their plate, but you like to be kept busy. You're the kind of person where if you don't have something to do, you feel weird. So at the same time, it's like a lot of responsibility is kind of what you were built for, is kind of what you're naturally good at. So all of my Aquariuses, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it gave you insight as well as inspiration and motivation. Let me know down below what really hit home. And of course, if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my gorgeous Pisces, and welcome to your reading. So today's reading is going to be conducted completely intuitively, so just lean back, relax, and enjoy. And let's figure out what's going on in your life 5 years from now. So we have the Magician, we have love, as well as the Nine of Feathers. Okay, first and foremost, let's talk about love. So there's a lot of fulfillment here. There's trust. There is a situation where you made a choice that you are now happy with. And one thing that I can see here in the Nine of Feathers is the fact that this choice made you feel empowered. So maybe you've been dealing with situations in love where you kind of felt like the second choice, you kind of felt like second best, but 5 years from now, you made that choice where you were, the first choice, where you were the one who they put first, who they always looked out for, and you do not feel like you were just like the second best option. Okay, you're not doing that anymore. 5 years from now, there is this sort of feeling of self-empowerment. Anything that you do will put you kind of like on this level that you're supposed to be on. I want to say like a high level, but it's not a high level. It's the level that you belong on. And as a Pisces, it can be hard for you to speak up. It can be hard for you to speak up against people who are not valuing you the way they should. But one thing that I see here in the Magician is a lot of willpower. I see that you are going to create what you want to create. I see willpower that you may have not had before. And also this kind of like confidence and maybe just increase in being able to just say like no, okay? Being able to tell people off when they're quite frankly just being rude. So furthermore, we have the Knight of Shells. So one thing that I see here in the Knight of Shells is that your sort of charm, your passion, all of that is really going up, okay? 5 years from now, I see as though you're very confident in your love life. There's a lot of trust between you and your partner. There's a lot of love in this relationship because you have truly grown into your own. You have truly discovered that you're somebody who's beautiful, you're somebody who's charming, who's witty. And as I said, you're not going to put up with anybody who doesn't value you as they should. You're not going to put up with anybody who is just using you. And furthermore, it just is going to attract a whole nother vibrational partner, a whole nother vibrational friend circle. 5 years from now, the kind of energy that you're exerting is just different. Then we have the Fire Guardian as well as the Eagle. So in the Fire Guardian, one thing that I see here is that your passions are the big focal point of your life. And maybe right now you feel as though like you're just doing your work, you're just doing your studies, you're just kind of doing what you have to do. But 5 years from now, like you're not doing what you have to do, you're doing what you want to do. And in the Eagle, one thing that I see is that you're kind of thinking ahead. So you're thinking to yourself, well, if I really want a fulfilled life, then I have to go back to school and study medicine if you want to study medicine, or I have to take the leap of faith and start building a business on the side, even if it takes a long time, or I just need to start, actually creating art if I want to be an artist. So see how 5 years from now, you're just like seeing the big picture and you're working on it each and every day. If you have this dream of becoming an entrepreneur, you're not going to just think to yourself, oh, one day maybe I'll quit my job, one day maybe I'll try to. You're actually doing it, okay? And how successful you are at it, let's see, we have the Wise One as well as the Snake. So you have definitely already gone through a lot of transformation when it comes to your passions. You have gotten to a point where you actually know what you're doing, which leads me to think that you're probably pretty far down passion road, okay? You're pretty far down where you want to be when it comes to something that is a career, but you're also passionate about. So it's not really work, it's more like passion, fun. Furthermore, in the Snake, one thing that I see here is that you will most likely be unrecognizable, okay? All my dear little Pisces babies, I do not want you to be worried. You will be unrecognizable in a good way, okay? This increase in being able to speak up for yourself and being able to see your self-worth and basically force people who don't want to see your self-worth to see it and respect it. You're going to be proud of yourself with the development that you have gone through when it comes to self-respect as well as self-love. Then we have Horus, we have Kalima, we have Hilarion, as well as Cernunnos. So in Cernunnos, one thing that I see is the fact that expressing just your driving passion, as I said, is the focal point 5 years from now. And one thing that I also see here is that sexually, okay, romantically, you are experimenting more than ever, okay? You're doing some freaky stuff, you're doing some thinking out of the box stuff, and just your love life is really, really ignited here, okay? It's really on fire. You're not just expressing your passions when it comes to your career, you're expressing your passionate side overall, but let's not get into too many details, okay? So in Horus, one thing that I see here is just the fact that, you know, your thoughts of valuing yourself more, your thoughts of where you want to go in life is really what is pulling sort of the things that you want closer to you. And in Kalima, one thing that I see here is that, you know, facing your fears is something that becomes kind of like a daily thing, especially because you are leaping out into trying something new, into trying something different, and something that was kind of like a risk following your passions. So it is the norm for you to face fears every day. Fears aren't so daunting anymore, and you're just kind of like honoring your sensitive side. That is one thing that I see in Hilarion. So whenever you feel like you're close to a mental breakdown, whenever you feel like crying because of a fear that you have to face but you don't really want to, but you know you have to, one thing that I see here is that you're just going to think to yourself, you know what, I will just give myself a moment just to break down and maybe cry, because I know that I have grown so much, and where I was 5 years ago is not even comparable to where I am now. So if I need a minute, I need a minute, and that's okay. So one other thing that I see here in Hilarion is just the fact that you take time to retreat and to heal a lot more, and this healing is just really the deep healing that you need. Maybe right now you feel as though you're healing, you're taking time, but you're not really. So engaging more in meditation and juicing and eating more raw foods and just making sure that you're reading, you know, that you're really recuperating, also sleeping a lot and taking care of your body in detail. That is one thing that I see 5 years from now. Furthermore, in Kalima, you know, in facing your fears, I definitely see that there's some major spiritual changes that are unfolding within you. And one thing that is clear is that 5 years from now, it's your chance to soar. Right now, maybe your wings aren't quite grown. Right now, maybe you need to learn a little more or just come into your own and find your voice a little more. But 5 years from now, like, you have to soar, okay? You've grown those wings. There is no point in just sitting there like a little baby chick. Like, you are in fact the eagle, okay? You can spread those wings, soar, and really use this newfound you, this newfound voice, in order to create so much more in your life than you had expected from yourself. So not only see things from a perspective where you plan ahead, where you see from a higher perspective, but also see a bigger perspective, see things in a sort of like a magnified light, okay? Things that you thought were just little accomplishments that you could do, see it, like, really blow it up for yourself, because you're most likely dreaming too small. 5 years from now, you know, your love life, it's on fire. Your confidence is up there. So make sure, if you remember this video, okay, if I want you to remember one thing out of this video 5 years from now is, even though you're at a completely different spot, you're confident, you're soaring, still allow yourself to dream even bigger. Challenge yourself to set your goals even higher, because chances are you're still dreaming and thinking a little too small compared to what you can actually achieve. So all my dear little Pisces, all my dear signs of the zodiac that are part of the Pisces fam, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that it gave you motivation and inspiration. Let me know down below what really hit home. And of course, if you're new to my channel, do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.